Have you ever gone shopping when you really didn't need fabric? And you saw more fabric and you thought, I have to have that fabric? Well, what do? I'll show you how to get them done fast so you can buy it all. Hi, it's Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe. Let's look at quilts that you can get done in a hurry because we have lots of new fabric and I know you're going to love every one of them. And we've got the great quilt patterns to show you as well. Every one of our kits has 3 1-yard pieces of fabric, which means that they will work. Any pattern will work with any 3 yards of fabric. Every book has 8 patterns. Every pattern is written for 3 sizes. Now we're going to show you quilt tops today, and we'll show you some of the beautiful new fabrics that we have. Some of the quilts we might not have the fabric, but we have gorgeous fabric that we can show you how to use with these fabrics, these patterns that are just awesome. So let's start with this one. This is a brand new quilt top that we just got in, and we have brand new fabric for it. Is this not adorable? This one is called Big Picture, and it is a super fast quilt. It has a huge block here. This is not a panel, this is yardage. And as long as you have a good looking piece of fabric that you want to showcase, this will be perfect. So let's put this here on the table and we will show you this fabric and talk about the pattern. Now the pattern is called Big Picture, and it has a fun focus fabric. So as long as you have a fun focus fabric like this, you're going to cut that big square of fabric and you are going to put it in the center, and then you will begin bordering. Now you know you need to do light and dark, so you take this out of the equation and you pick your lightest one for number 2 and your darkest one for number 3. Then whenever you put this together, you are going to see your focus, your light, and your dark. And that one is absolutely adorable. This one is called Happy Farm, and the kit number is 8021650. Big Picture is the pattern. It is available as an individual. It's also available in the book Quilts for Kids. And Quilts for Kids is a download pattern. If you take it as your choice, it's $15.99 for the book, or get it free when you buy 3 kits. And we will send you a code so you can download it. Okay, this next one is Checkmate. It is truly one of our signature quilts for Get It Done Fast. It has a width of fabric, so it's a row quilt, and it has the width of fabric as one of your pieces. Then we've made a 4-patch, and that will be alternated all through the quilt. Let's put that up here. And once again, it's a great one for your quilts that you want to get done in a hurry, because the pieces are such that it will sew up in a hurry. Now this one is really, really pretty. So this one is called Life is Sweet, and I have to say one of my favorite things to do is find pretty wildflowers and put them in a vase in my kitchen window. I just love doing that. So this one is a very pretty fabric, and we're going to pair that with the yellow as the number 2 and the green as number 3. So when you're looking at this quilt, once again, this is going to go in this wide portion of the quilt, and then you're going to make a 4-patch out of the yellow and green. Yellow and the green will go here, and then that goes across in your second row. This one is called Life is Sweet, 8021651. Checkmate is your pattern, and the book is Quilts for Kids, which is that download pattern that I just mentioned, or book that I just mentioned. Okay, we also have in the the Checkmate pattern, this is a last chance, but it too would work for you to put this in your focus fabric and make your 4-patch here, and your kit number is 8021652. Big Happy Family number 2. Checkmate is your pattern. It's from the book Quilts for Kids, and there are only 6 of these remaining. So be sure to check that out because they go fast. Okay, our next quilt is called So Quick. So Quick is one, it was probably one of my first big block Patterns. It has a big 10-inch block, and I designed this several years ago, and it has remained in the top 10 ever since I first introduced it. It has a 4-patch beside that with your fabrics 2 and 3. Let's put that up here. Now most of these are going to be great showcase for your fabrics, and like I said, if you're like me, you fall in love with all the beautiful fabrics, and it's like I just have to have them. So this particular one is another pretty kind of a wild flower garden. I always think that English gardens are so pretty. I love the way they are kind of wild, and this one would go here. And you can't grow an English garden in Texas. It would fry real fast. This is your fabric 2 and your fabric 3, which is going to make your 4-patch. And this one is called Fanciful Flowers. It is 8021653. So Quick is your pattern. It's available as an individual. It's also available in the book Quilt's Favorites, which is a download book that you can get a code for to download. Now the next one that we have for you is called Porch Rails. Porch Rails is a real fun one, and again, you're going to get it done in a hurry because you're going to strip piece this and then cut it into blocks, alternating with a full block, and it goes together in a hurry. Most of these quilts can be made in about 4 to 6 hours, depending on your skill level and whether or not you like to put the pedal to the metal and push that foot pedal down. This one is in the book Pretty Darn Quick, and this is going to give you an example of how the patterns are written. This particular one, we always give you a black and white diagram. It's going to show you fabric 1 is your focus fabric, fabric 2 is your light, and fabric 3 is your dark, so you can see exactly where it's going to fall in the pattern. And we're going to do strip piecing, so you sew 3 pieces together, and then you cut it into blocks. So let me show you how that works. First of all, you do that strip piecing like we were talking about. So you make these long strips like this, and then you're going to cut these off of the side of the strip. So these are just cut into a block. So now you've got your first block made, and like I said, you'll get this one done in a jiffy by doing that strip piece method and then placing the blocks where they will be. Then you cut the regular squares, and we're going to put those in here and here, and we have an awesome quilt. I guess I ought to put that on top so you can see it a little bit better, how that's going to go. So this is your porch rails, and that is cool. All right, so now we'll look at the fabric, and this one is called Giddy Up. Giddy Up has these great cowboy hats. Now, we might not have English gardens in Texas, but we sure have the cowboy hats. This is our focus fabric. It's your number 1. It's going to go in those big blocks. Then these 2 are 2 and 3. That's going to be strip pieced, and your blocks will be cut from those strip piecing. So that'll go together in a hurry. 8021380. Giddy Up is the name of the kit. Porch Rails is the name of the pattern, and the pattern is in the book Pretty Darn Quick. Now the next one that we have is Sweet Times. Sweet Times is one that I designed that has all of the focus fabrics really framed here, and I really like the way this one looks in just about any fabric that you want to showcase. These are big blocks, so you'll want a nice size print to go in there. Okay, this one is called All Aflutter, and that is so pretty. So this one is going to go in your number 1 spot here. Then you have your light and your dark remaining. Your light will border one of the squares, and your dark will border the second square. So this one, All in a Flutter, is 8021563. All in a Flutter. Sweet Times is your pattern. That's available in the book, Easy Peasy 3-Yard Quilts. Now remember, buy 3 kits and you get the book free, and you get to pick which book you want by putting the name in the comments section. If you just buy 1 kit, you get 1 pattern, so you can have it your way. This one is called Bold Blocks. Bold Blocks is a little more modern twist to it, again having the big blocks but being bordered by asymmetrical, so we put them on one side, then we put them on the other side. And this one we have some great beachy themed fabric. So here we have our seahorses. This is called Ocean View, and this is not a batik, but it's a printed fabric that looks like a batik. That's your number 1 fabric. Then we have 2 remaining. We have our light and our dark. So if you can imagine, this one is going to be this is going to be the background back here. Your big piece goes here, and then you're going to border the seahorse with the sea grasses. So that's going to be a good looking quilt. So this one is called Ocean View 8021343. Bold Blocks is your pattern. It's available in the Pretty Darn Quick book. And Pretty Darn Quick is filled with great patterns that go together in a hurry. Okay, this one's called Overnight Sensation. Overnight Sensation is truly that. If you need a quilt in a hurry, this is it. You've got 4 big blocks, and those 4 big blocks are strip pieced and then sewn together to make a 4 patch. We'll put that one up here, and we have pieces and parts for you, so we'll show you how this goes together. Let me pull this over, and let's show you the fabrics. So here are the fabrics. We have this gorgeous floral. This is called Retro Roses, and that has this is going to go in your number 1 spot, which is going to be right over here. And then you have 2 remaining, and you're going to put the number 2 fabric becomes the sashing on this one. It's done with this as the sashing. Because you're comparing these 2, you put your darkest one here. And so if you can imagine these 2 blocks, I'm going to pull this out so you can see what a great combination these 2 are. I love those 2 together. Okay, let's look how to put it together. So the first thing we're going to do is that long strip piecing that I was telling you. You want to strip piece it. Let's see, John, I'm going to pull this up a little. And you strip piece it, you cut your units. And in case you ever wonder why these are bigger than what's on the quilt, it's because we still have seam allowances in place. Okay, then you do the same thing. So this was a big long strip. We've cut these units, and then you just rotate one. These 2 get sewn together, and then you're going to put your sashing. So 1 sashing we'll put here. These are huge blocks. They're like 16-inch blocks. So they really are big. And this one goes down below, and this one is going to go right over here. So you can kind of get an idea of what this one is going to look like when it's done in the big version. Like this a lot. Okay, let me pull these up, and we've given you the information. Retro Roses, 8021-607, Overnight Sensation. This is only available in the book Easy Does It. So an alternate pattern would be the Skip to My Lou, which is a smaller block, but this one still looks great in a smaller block because of the size of the flowers. They'll easily work in the smaller block. All right. Now the next one, this one's called Dash. I don't have this particular fabric, but we have a fun new fabric. And I love almost everything that we buy, but sometimes we get a fabric in and I especially love it. And so Hannah could attest to that. And put that up here, Natalie. This one came in and I could just see it for some reason. Now I've been talking, maybe it's because it's hot here and I see these snowy trees. Now, when it was snowing last winter, I wasn't all that crazy about it after the first day, but being in Texas, we don't see snowy trees too often. This is our number 1 fabric. It's going to go where the red is. Now, you'll notice that in this particular case, these are identical prints, and you can do this with this quilt because they're separated by the background fabric so that the blocks are kind of floating on top. I just chose the gray as my number 1, which was going to make the blue be the number 3 that goes here, and it will also go in the border. So that was my choice. You can put any fabric in any position, no problem at all. So fabric number 1 here and here. Fabric number 2 is your background, and this is a gold printing on this, and it's really, really pretty. There's a little silver in this, but they go together well because this has almost like silver and gold both in it. And then your number 3 fabric is the blue, and that is going to be a very nice quilt. 8021-654 Winter Frost. Dash is your pattern. It is available as an individual. It's also available in the Easy Peasy 3-yard quilts. Now, if you've been wondering who is this person who's holding the quilts and what have you done with Hannah, let me introduce Natalie. Natalie is a school teacher that worked for us last summer, and she's back again. We were just so excited that she decided she'd come back and work with us again for the summer. So she's just helping out, and John's going to turn around and let Hannah wave.
No pressure.
I didn't tell him I was doing this, but she's in the background directing. That's only Hannah can do well. So it's Donna Robertson with Fabric Cafe. All of the patterns that we showed you today are from one of our books or one of our individual patterns. We do have 3-yard quilt patterns and books. It takes 3 1-yard cuts for every one of the patterns. And the really cool thing is all of those patterns, almost all of them are get it done fast. But today we showed you the ones that are especially quick and easy to do if you want to buy more fabric so you can make more quilts and get it done. Donna Robertson, be sure to subscribe and click the little bell so that you can get notifications for every one of our videos. Have a good night.